Hello everybody. I'm Maury, and as I put in the description, it's been about a week since I first got back with this program. This program being Paintstorm Studio. It originally launched back in 2015, and I ended up not really doing much with it when I first got it, simply because it didn't allow for more than one monitor at a time, and I like having a multi-monitor setup. But now I've got a laptop, so my laptop is where I have this program on and I'm streaming from right now, and I have my desktop next to me, so I have my second monitor. This also doubles as I am still getting used to using my second tablet, which this one is a Garamond display pen tablet. In the future, I'll probably do a quick review on how I feel about this tablet, just so that other people who are also looking for a cheaper alternative to a Cintiq have some ideas. But this particular stream is focused on Paintstorm Studio. So the big thing that most people see with this program on its really good points is actually its brush system, which I have all the things open on the left so you can see it. But it allows for you to change a lot of things about it in one place, where you can basically remake any brush in the system just by altering what you have going on over here. I'm just trying to figure out what's a good way to show this. So one thing I can do is I can actually change the shape of the brush very quickly from here. And now that's the shape used. Just so you can get different textures. But as nice as that is, I'm actually finding I'm not a super big fan of this program. Mainly because of how layers work. So you can see I have a few layers open already. But I can't click and drag the layers to change the order. I have to use these little arrows at the bottom to move the layer around. I put a dot so it's more obvious in the layer select down here which layer I'm moving. But if I make a folder, again, I can't drag anything into it. I have to select the layer I want to go into the folder, send it above the folder with the folder open, and then put it down, and then I'll put it into the folder. If the folder's closed, nothing can go above the folder, which is very frustrating, and the folder itself cannot move. So even if I were to create something over top of the folder, whether or not the folder is open, the folder cannot move. So that makes layers incredibly unusable for me. I need to be able to move my layers around all the time and to be able to group them in folders, because especially when I do some paintings, digital paintings, or anything involving color, I use like 50 some layers, and there's no way they're all gonna fit if I can't group them conveniently into folders. As well as most of those layers are actually me just doing experimental doodles on the side and wanting to move that particular layer around, or maybe I don't like how I did it on that layer, but I don't want to lose the layer yet, so I put it in a folder of things I'm not using. But like this, it's not really viable to do the layers. But I like what goes on with the brush, because this little thing up here that I'm now moving around, this is a custom where I can just put whatever brushes and erasers and such that I like. I can just put them right in there, which is really convenient, so I don't have to constantly grab it from the list on the side, and I can put custom brushes in there. I I do like many of the brushes that it comes with, but the nice part about having my custom section is I can just customize a brush and put my custom brush in there and not have to worry about just using the ones that it comes with. As well as in other programs, when I did make custom brushes, having to organize it with the brushes that were already there, just, I don't know, just frustrated me. So being able to put the limited amount of brushes I will be using in one convenient place, I like that. Let's see. What else have I been finding? Oh, that's another thing is this program is incredibly heavy, is the best way I have to put it, where no matter what I was doing, everything just got bogged down really quickly and just very slow. When you first open the program, the DPI is at 72, for example, and it's only maybe 1,000 pixels wide, so it is very small file. Which if you're going to make anything for print, that's not going to fly. Which a lot of what I do is designed to be printed, so that doesn't work well. This file right now is opened at, it's a regular 8.5 by 11, which I think is the A4 paper at 300 DPI, which the brushes, the bigger the brushes, the more of a delay there is from when you do your stroke to the brush actually showing what you're doing. I'm not actually sure what I'm drawing right now. I'm just kind of messing around with shapes. Sort of doing a flamey thing. Anyway, yeah, that's my biggest complaints are the layers on the side, how that's handled, and just how heavy of a program this is. It makes it very hard for me to work on anything of size. What I can do with all the brushes is really fun. And there's all sorts of cool textures and stuff that you can work with. And I just like it. I like the brushes, but I don't like anything else about this program, I'm finding. Because it's just very heavy. It's very depressing because I got this program, like I said, back when it first came out, and it seemed really promising, but looking at where it's come from, the updates, I'm just disappointed in it. It feels like it's unfinished, or maybe, how do I put this? Yeah, it really is just unfinished. Like, I'm playing with a beta program that's not technically in beta anymore. Or is labeled as not being in beta, but really should still be labeled as beta. I can do a lot of good, interesting things with it, but it's a very slow process. Everything gets bogged down very fast, and I end up having to have everything closed down. I'm actually surprised I'm able to stream right now while having this program open because of the fact that it slows everything down. Luckily, my computer never crashed while using it, but at least it hasn't yet, but it's come pretty close where I've debated just shutting it down because it would freeze up a handful of times. It does have some nice features. Like, I actually like the way it handles color. I have it on the bottom right hand side over here, where the squares on the corners, I can just pick a color up here, click on the square that represents that exact hue up there, and then click on the square on here, and it instantly changes that color. So now I have this gradient of in between all of these colors, and I really like that. That's definitely something that I enjoy for playing with colors and creating color palettes, and then I don't have to continuously be eye dropping and all that. But like I said, the layers. More than anything else, it really is just the layers. A heavy program, I've used heavy programs before. Before I could afford Manga Studios or Photoshop or any of them, I was using GIMP, which is a free to use program, and that is like one of the heaviest programs I've ever had to deal with for making art. But I did it. I was fine with it being slow as molasses. I would get up in between strokes if I had to. But it was a digital program that I could use for free to kind of get an idea on what using a digital photo editing program is like. So with this one, like I said, I'm okay. I don't particularly like it. Oh, this is a brush I really thought was cool. This would be really fun actually for doing line work and stuff. For like having that printed effect. I'm distracting myself. Oh my god. Late night streaming. If the layers were actually usable, I think I might actually switch this being a preferred painting program. Because I really am just intrigued, I think might be a better word, by how the brush engine works. Look at this. Such a good brush. Here I am whispering. If you go on the Paintstorm Studio's YouTube, one of their first videos is a watercolor video, and it explains how to make a very specific type of watercolor brush. A bunch of people, me included, have tried to make and replicate that brush using all of the same settings, and it doesn't work the same way. So I don't know if that was that recorded video might have been made before they launched it, and might not be able to. That brush might not be able to be made anymore with the new updates. Who knows? But the closest I can get is this brush, which is still a nice brush, but there's a few things about it that it's just not the same as the watercolor brush that he made in the video. Does look like there's one person watching, and to that person I say hello. Yeah, I do use multiple programs to draw. I normally use Manga Studios to do line art for anything. I've started using Clip Studios Paint to do coloring. Like if I'm going to do like painted, digital painting things. It's just I'm trying to figure out what I can do with this program specifically in order to utilize its brushes. But if I'm going to do painting, chances are I'm going to be using a lot of layers. So having a layers section that is not really functional is very frustrating. I do like that I can mimic like a pencil and things like that. So most of what I've been practicing with this program is trying to figure out if I can mimic how I do my normal color pencil sketches, like traditional color pencil sketches, because I really like the texture you can get from their pencil brushes. I do have to say I am a little frustrated with the fact that this program doesn't utilize keyboard shortcuts in a common way, and I can't figure out where to go to change that. The other thing is if I hit E, it does switch to an eraser, like this right now. But if I hit B or P, it doesn't switch off. Okay, there it went, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't take, and that's very frustrating. This is a program I'm probably going to come back to every so often just to see, as it has updates, if it's usable again or more usable for the things that I would use it for. Really, I'm just pretty depressed about how it's turned out with the layers. So I can't remember if when I was first using it, if the layers were like this or what. Yeah, it looks better with it brighter in the middle. This is what I was working on earlier, by the way. So I had this eye going on. Kind of want to work on that a little bit more just to play with painting some more. There's a bunch of other people on YouTube who have done, I think, more thorough explanations on what this program can and can't do, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I'm more here to explain how it reacts for me, I guess, or usability if you're someone who creates art like I do. If you're someone who uses a lot of layers, this program probably isn't for you. If you're someone who does everything on one layer, then yeah, this program is probably hunky-dory for you. It's probably fine. You're probably never going to have an issue because you're not going to have an issue with all the layers not functioning. That's just not going to be something that's going to be a problem for you. Yeah, I used to only draw traditionally, and then basically I got into illustration and animation. That's what I wanted to do for a living. Never in my wildest dreams I imagined I would be a draftsman, but whatever. As my main job. But because of that, I ended up doing a lot of digital artwork and getting into digital artwork more. Because I started noticing how much easier it is to reproduce things like that. I need a clean brush. Turning off dirty mode. So the brushes in this can be made to sort of mimic a traditional brush with things like it having the dirty mode. Where it, let me turn dirty mode back on so I can show it better. Let's pick greenish color. Yes. Hey, where did my other squares go? Oh, scrolling wheel. I'd never know. Oh my god, it goes so much farther. I didn't realize that this has a scrolling wheel on it. Or a scroll bar. Oh my god. feel like such a dunce. How did I not notice this before? I have so many more options. It's beautiful. So that happened just now. Anyway. Okay, so I've got dirty turned on. So what that means is I can, let me take off preserve brush. Let me put on take undercolor again. So you can see how it kind of pools a little bit at the other colors. But if I go over here, what is causing it not to... This happened before and I'm not sure what causes it. There we go. See? It's back. Which is cool, which is what normal paint is actually like. It being able to mess with the colors when painting. I have been discovering a couple different things. Let's see. Right. There actually aren't a lot of tools in here that I haven't experimented with. There's just, most of them are things that you can get in a lot of digital programs, like the gradient tool, which I'm actually going to make a selection before I show. Which basically you can use a set one, or you can have it go by the colors you have selected already. So it's a pretty standard one gradient tool, and it's got, the different shape gradients. So yeah, that's pretty standard. Everything has a ton of different ways of the layer functioning, or painting functioning, or gradient functioning. So it doesn't have to be on normal. It could be on darken or multiply or whatever. So I have them all right here so you can see them, which is nice. There's quite a few options, which is better than what you get in Manga Studios, which has none, or in Clip Paint Studios, which has about like half of these. It's not as versatile when it comes to layer options. What else was there? Get rid of the selection. Over here there's scripts has been added. The only live person or person watching at the moment doesn't do anything digital, so they don't understand what scripts are, but I can explain that real quick, which you can perform an action in the digital program and set that to a command in a sense, and what the script does is you can tell it to run that action. So you don't have to do it manually. You can just say, hey, every time I make a circle or whatever, this is what I want you to do. And so you draw the circle, you hit the button on the script, and it automatically does whatever that thing is that you wanted it to do. Let's see, what else? I say a lot. Maybe it's because I'm tired. It has some basic image changing tools like color balance and stuff. Hue, saturation. There's not a lot under edits either, but it's all the basic stuff, which is great. The transform tool. Let me... I thought I was on the square selection tool. My bad. There we go. But, the selection tool, all of the options for type of selection are up at the top, including whether you want it to add more every time you do it. Like here, I just made the selection bigger, or subtract from your current selection, or just one at a time. And then similarly, once you've said that you want to transform it, you have all the, you could, flip it automatically, rotate it, and then if you want to have like the distorted type of messing with it, you can have that happen too. And of course cancel, which I do kind of like that interface. But like I was saying, my biggest issue, there's somewhere supposedly in the program, looking at the question, there's somewhere where you can mess with the shortcuts, but I haven't figured out where that is. I've been looking, like, I've got some idea, because there's load custom UIs and all that on other, and I can't figure out where the change options are. The other thing is I have a lot of keyboard shortcuts set up on this tablet where the tablet has buttons on the side to press that mimic the keyboard shortcut. Only most of them don't function. And they actually have made the program freeze. So I can't use my tablet's full functionality with this program. And that's a problem too. So if you're someone who doesn't use the buttons on their tablet, that's not a problem if you're fine just using your keyboard. But I've actually been trying to develop using the buttons on my tablet specifically because I know that can speed up the process significantly. Certain ones still work, like for spacebar for moving around, that's still fine. But if I hit the undo button on the tablet, the whole program freezes. I'm not going to demo that because that ain't fun. There you go. I keep saying again. Which brush was this one? Oh yeah, that was that one. Yeah, exactly. The undo button not functioning, not fun. Luckily, right up at the top over here is a undo and a redo button, so I can always just directly hit those. If I remember right, they weren't there when the program first came out. Yeah, the pros are very unique to the program, but the cons are just a little overwhelming, at least for me. They make the program not a good option. which is why I put in the description if anyone has any other questions about functions that they know that the program's supposed to be able to do, I can look into those and see if it is in fact good for that specific use. Because this program is a very, very cheap program, I'm talking about like in the $20 range cheap program, that it would be a crime to miss out on this program if it's a program that does what you want it to do. Now, this is a program for me, like I've been saying, I'll probably come back to it every so often and just, mess around to see if it gets better with updates. But for the most part, I've probably gotten everything out of this program I'm going to, and the brushes and what it does do really well. Just until the layers function for me, it's not really something I'm going to be using. I do actually normally use my keyboard. It's just with my new tablet, it actually has the buttons on the side, which my old tablet doesn't. So I've been trying to get used to using those buttons to really fully have full use, or however you want to put it, of this particular tablet's capabilities, instead of just sticking to the keyboard the whole time. Was not getting the color to come out, so I had to switch brushes for a second. There we go. Like, there's a lot I can do with this program without having the layers. Like I've been showing right now is I've got this painting basically, which is fine. It's all done on one layer, which if that's actually what you really should be doing if you're going to be painting, is doing it at least mostly on one layer. I'm just a coward, so I like using lots of layers. And I'm not afraid to admit that, yes, I am a coward. I really, really want to like this program, and I really, really like the brushes. I'm not a fan of the rest of it. And by rest of it, I mean basically just the layers. I'm not a fan of the layers. Um, yeah, I really wish the layers wasn't an issue. I should probably put clothes on this person at some point and not just draw them naked. Yeah. My Bluetooth headphones disconnected for a second. Now, can anyone place what song from Kingdom Hearts that was? Oh, one other good thing about this program, because I don't want to just talk about the things I don't like about it, is it has an autosave function, which I really appreciate. Because I have been too many times drawing, and then all of a sudden the program crashes and I lose everything forever. And it's such a sad moment when that happens. No one wants to be there when that happens. No one wants to experience that. And so the fact that it does autosave for you periodically is great. Yeah. I don't know where to take this drawing. Yeah, more or less. I had absolutely no idea where this drawing was going when I started it, and I'm not sure how I feel about it other than I like the colors. I think I'm gonna make the hair longer because why not? I like super duper stupidly long hair. I wish my hair was stupidly long. It's like mermaid hair. Save. Ugh. Well, not really sure where to take this stream from here, so I'm probably gonna be going soon. Just gonna take this figure a little bit more to completion. Before I go. Oh, thank you. I'm really digging this hair too. Oh, I can't seem to get the... Does it? Yeah. Even with the keyboard, Control plus or minus does not scale up or down with this. I just realized I should talk about that. Instead, you've got this magnifying glass over here that if you pull to the right, zooms in, and if you pull to the left, zooms out. Yeah, I've got this really dark magenta color as a mid-tone in the hair, and then I've got this navy as the dark, and that bright teal is the highlight. I do really like how that looks. And that dark purpley red maroon color gets pulled back in with the skin, so it kind of pulls everything together. Hey, where did it go? Oh. Oh, cool. Okay, so I can open and close these. Good to know. Like I said, I've only been playing with this for like a week when I get home from work, so what I can show of its potential is not complete to any degree. Okay, so yeah, looking at the clock, I've been at this an hour. I don't need to. I don't really have anything more to say. Sadly, um, but yeah. I guess one last quick recap: the brush system in this, what you can do with the brushes. Really enjoy that. Really like the brush system, how you can fully customize it. And I haven't even showed you everything you can do with the brushes. There's actually, you can even bring in a perspective line system where you can set the brushes to interact with it. So when you get closer to the made horizon line, the brush gets smaller automatically and bigger as you get farther away from it, which would make doing any kind of landscape like that much easier and faster. I haven't gotten a chance to experiment with that yet, which is why I didn't demo any of that or show any of that. But the way it uses color, I like how you have all these different ways to interact with color. The keyboard shortcuts are different, and I'm not the only person who's complained about that, and a lot of people have actually had problems figuring out how to alter or work with the presets. Then, of course, there's my whole issue with the layers, that you can't really move them around in an understandable or cohesive way. And for some reason, it is now stuck on hand. That was weird. There we go. Didn't like what the bridge of her nose was doing. Anyway, so as I was saying, yeah, basically my biggest issue is I don't like the layers. Everything else has potential, except for the system being very heavy. I'll probably live stream again sometime later this upcoming week if anyone puts any questions about what to do. Yeah, hopefully the layers will be updated in the future. Hopefully the program will become less heavy in the future. So for me, I probably won't be using it outside of doing color studies and things like this. I'll probably do all of my base experimentation in this program if I end up using it, and then switch over to Clip Studio Paint to do my final version where I have my full range of layers and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens, because I do actually enjoy painting in this program. I just wish I could use the layers better. So yeah, see you guys in the future. Now let me just figure out how I can get out of the stream from here. Quick, everybody stop looking at the stream so I can close the program and you can see how cluttered everything is. Okay, there we go.